going forward, or questions that the community would ask.
The part that I always struggle with is that, you know, to have class sizes of 18, and I'm not saying that isn't the greatest thing. I know there's some funding associated with that at the state level. But I'm just wondering, you know, there was an article in the paper last night about Edgerton going away from the 4-block schedule because it wasn't working very well because they said teachers had too much free time. That was part of the essence of that article, if I read it correctly. And they also were cutting staff because of the enrollment drops. I'm just wondering, we were talking about the lake referendum last night for a couple $1 million, and now we're talking about spending $40 or $50 million on 2 schools or whatever it would be. Just as a taxpayer and having elderly come into my office and say, you know, we're reversing our mortgage now. We don't own the house anymore. We get to live there as long as we can, but we get $500 a month toward our living expenses. I don't know if that makes me feel very good about continuing to spend without, you know, the purpose of the purchase of the land makes perfect sense because we're in an economy now where you should be buying, not selling. And we need to make that happen probably for future, and we could always trade it if it didn't pan out to be this way. But back to my original comment, I'm just not sure how much sense it makes to have just 18 kids in a class, because if you were at 21, would it then divert your problems of overcapacity if we weren't trying to live with that 18 per class? I know when I was teaching back, it's been a long time ago, 25, 30 years ago, I had 39 kids in one class. There was 36 boys and 3 females. It was terrible. They were going to kill me. And I was
Which is why we don't do that anymore.
Well, but Heidi, that's double the size of what, that's more than double.
But what grade, Jim? 'Cause we
High
only-
school.
Yeah, we only have those low class sizes in K2.
That's it? What is the enrollment then? What are we trying to get? Because some of them, we have classes that are 9 and 10 kids.
Yeah, we projected that out in the high school. We thought that for between 15 and 18 was what we shot for back when we
did this before.
For high school, right? 15 to 18 is what we shot for.
But when we looked at that, a lot of the classes were considerably smaller than that for whatever reason, how the dynamics of setting up
That's
their...
not the case. The average class size at the high school right now is 20. You know, there are a few that are because of safety reasons, like they've got hand saws and things that are low.
Shop classes.
But there are also classes that are between 26 and 31. So the
Wow.
average is right around 20.
And we did a poor job projecting for the high school. That's almost double than what we shot for in high school.
Well, I think when you're using 15 to 18 for the high school, when you're thinking about a room, the room is typically used 3 out of 4 if you're on a block schedule, or 6 out of 8 if you're on a regular schedule. So that's what takes that average down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's clear that there, at some point through this process, there's going to need to be information on the impact of class sizes, because that's the question that will come up with some.
Well, you know, I think there really is a more fundamental question, Judy, because I think these discussions can be very painful and divisive in the community. And if this committee is ready to say within a meeting or 2, we really don't think we need to survey the community on all of these options. We think, given the economy, that we can go out and sell the idea to the community that we need whatever X dollars it is to buy 20 acres on X site and see if that referendum passes with the idea that this is an investment for the future. We don't need to worry about narrowing these options down. We'll get to that point when